Welcome to Ultimate Playlist. I'm Matt, that's Briggs, and this is a show where Briggs and I get together to choose the top 10 songs around a theme, creating its ultimate playlist, and each one of us gives our top 5. Today's theme is the Ultimate Title Twins playlist. Briggs, you want to explain what we're doing?
Sure. Title Twins. It's popular songs that happen to share the same name.
That's right.
More common than you might think. There was a lot of these. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be a little tougher than it was.
Oh, no.
Turned out to be tougher to weed it down to my top 10, I guess.
Yeah, right.
10 plus. Some of them are titled triplets.
Oh, yes. Did you put any weight towards if like one
multiplicity
song had like 6 different versions of it?
Yes
titles?
And no. I mean, I wanted to genuinely like all the versions of the songs.
Right.
You know, there's some that had like 4 or 5, and a lot of them were dogs, in my opinion. You know, we can talk about that.
Yep.
But I mean, I definitely recognize the multiplicity of it because it's kind of interesting. But it's kind of what you might think too. It's a lot of simple titles that are one word kind of things. At least that's. I made a point to pick only one word titles.
Did you really?
One of my rules. I did. Why not?
What?
I thought it would be fun.
That's amazing. That's good. Okay, so I bet that we cross over because I think I got some.
We
of these
must.
in there.
I mean, because there's some big hits that were both big hits that had the same title.
That's right. So okay, well, I just looked at the strongest pair. So that's how I did it. I was like, what are the strongest combined? Like if each one of them,
I see,
was a percentage from 0 to 100, and this one scored 87, this one scored 76, but together combined, they outscored everything else.
Like a weighted average kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I do have some where like one song is so top heavy that it just pulls everything else up. So we'll get some of those. But
right on.
I guess we can probably get started with your number 5.
Let's do it. My number 5, first one is Surender by Elvis Presley.
Won't you please surrender to me? Your lips, your arms, your heart, dear.
I love
Elvis. Yeah, I know he's good. This is a good one. This is a really cool song.
That's a cool
This
song.
is a number 1 hit by Elvis, of course. One of his many, 18 number 1 hits or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
This is a cool song. He had, of course, Elvis had the record for most consecutive number 1 singles, and this was one of them in that string.
Yeah.
Ultimately beaten by the Beatles, and then the Beatles were beaten by Whitney Houston, who still holds the record.
Yep. At one point there, I don't know if he's doing vibrato anymore or if he's doing some sort of like tongue trill at that end spot. I'm like,
it's pretty great.
So good.
Yeah.
So guttural. He just gives it everything he's got to.
Totally. Yeah, this is a really good one.
I love it. Yeah. So I didn't pick this or its partner, so we could maybe talk about the second one too.
Sure. Yeah. The second one, of course, is Surender by Cheap Trick.
Yep.
That's from their 1978 album, Heaven Tonight. It was their first single to hit the Hot 100 chart. It was at number 62.
That's right.
And, kind of paved the way for further success. And then, that song kind of endures and pops up in pop culture a lot.
Yeah. I find it a bit whiny. We've talked about Cheap Trick before.
Okay.
Not my
Fair
favorite.
enough.
But that Elvis song is great. So but which one did you weight higher, do you think?
I mean, they're both pretty good. I feel like this one, you got to give it to Elvis because it's Elvis, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a number 1, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas the Cheap Trick one was not a number 1, but it has enduring pop culture value. And, I like both of the songs. So this was more maybe call it 60-40 Elvis.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fair split. Yeah, both good songs. Good choice for your number 5. Shall we move on to my number 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
This one's a little bit different. This is Changes by Black Sabbath, but I'm doing the Charles Bradley version. I'm sure you're familiar with the song, but
good one. Oh, for sure.
You know the version
I
too?
don't know this version. No, I like this version though. It's really good. It's a lot better than the Black Sabbath one.
And it's a good song. Cringy. Yeah, it's a good. Oh,
yeah, it is a good song.
You don't like? Do you not like the Sabbath version?
It's not my favorite Sabbath song. That's for sure.
It's definitely.
It's fine.
It's definitely
fine.
odd when Ozzy's singing it. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, in the canon of Black Sabbath, it strikes my ear a little weird. It's fine. I mean, but if I had to pick one Black Sabbath song to listen to, it's never going to be that one.
No, I was definitely familiar with it, but when I heard this version, I didn't place it as
This is
Sabbath.
a great version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Charles Bradley?
No, I don't think so, actually.
So how I first encountered this song was the cartoon show Big Mouth. Did you ever watch that?
I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
Yeah, it's good. The first few seasons are pretty good, actually. And the intro is a cartoon. It's this cartoon that shows the changes that kids are going through emotionally and physically as they turn into adults. And it's a very raw opening, and just kind of like you don't expect it. And then it's played with this song, and it's just so raw, and like it's the perfect complement of things. It's one of those usually like I skip through intros, but it's one of those where it's like so compelling that it's hard to, but especially because of his voice. And so I was like,
that's great.
Who the hell is this guy? And I had to go find it. So I didn't, and checked out his discography, which is amazing. So this is from an album from 2016. The album title is His Name, and check this out. So he was 70 or 69 when he died in like 2017 or 2018. But when he was very young in 1962, his sister took him to the Apollo Theater to see James Brown. Instantly fell in love with James Brown. You can hear the resemblance there. And so practiced his moves, practiced his singing, but he ran away from home when he was 14 years old, and like was living on the street or in people's basements and just working, and basically like went decades and decades and decades like that and sometimes he would get some gigs like impersonating James Brown, but he didn't start recording himself until the early 2000s. This, like the dude's first main album didn't come out until he was 63 years old.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And he did something like 4 albums and then he died. It breaks my heart. Like it really breaks my heart. Did 4 albums and then he died. And they are so good and he is so good. So
wow.
I love the song so much. And anyway, this is
certainly the best
version.
that song's ever sounded. That's a cool version.
Did you choose?
I am going to dig in. I am going to dig into more of that. I did not choose Changes. Right. It was on my list. I mean, I found it. Of course, the twin is David Bowie.
Yep, exactly.
And we've talked about this song before also, right?
Exactly, yep.
But also a great song by Bowie. But man, that's a cool one, Matt. I like this choice.
Okay,
Charles
right on.
Bradley.
Charles Bradley rules. So we don't have to talk about Changes. The Bowie thing. Bowie is amazing. We all know Bowie's amazing.
Of course, everyone knows that. Yeah.
Should we move on to your number 4 then?
Sure. My number 4 is "Shout" by Isley Brothers.
You make me wanna shout, kick my heels up and shout, throw my hands up and shout, throw my head back and shout. Come on now, don't forget to say you will. Don't forget to say yeah. Say you will. Say it right now, baby.
Yeah, great one. And
Shout,
so I will. The other one's on my list, so we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Sounds good.
But let's talk about the Isley version of
Sure.
That's great.
Yeah. This was their 4th single. This is from 1959.
Yeah.
Hit number 47 on the Hot 100. Isley Brothers were around forever.
Yes.
A career spanning over 7 decades.
Crazy.
They're one of the few groups to ever have new music in 6 different decades on the Billboard Hot 100. Crazy. They're just, on and on and on, right? And this is a bona fide classic.
It is.
By them that is totally in the pop culture forever.
Oh yeah, like Animal House and
exactly. I was going to say that one as well.
Yeah.
It's played by a million people famously in Animal House and elsewhere. So just a great song.
Yeah, I really like this one. And the cool thing about their career is they also sounded like they changed styles. Like they go from this almost doo-wop, late 50s music.
Sure,
Shout
like
broke
a vocal trio.
Yep. Shout broke them, and they were continuing to do this. But then they do like more R&B stuff. They do funk stuff. It gets like pretty awesome in the 70s actually with the Isley Brothers.
Absolutely.
So they're like kind of a little bit more weathered. Sound.
Well, they've been around. They've seen some things.
They did. Yeah. So did you see how they like created this too? So they were.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Go ahead.
For it.
You say. You tell them.
All right. Well, I mean, basically they were performing another song, and he was kind of getting the approval of the audience and trying to get them involved and doing a call response, and he incorporated "You Make Me Want to Shout," and he got the crowd doing it, and everyone liked it. It was kind of a popular live favorite, and then they were encouraged to record it as a song, and they did.
Yeah, that's right. The song that they would close with is a song called Teardrops by Jackie Wilson. And it has the say you will part, and say you will that happens towards the end. And so they'd sort of, the Isleys would just sort of build off
Riffed off of that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But a cool story. They had a lot like This Old Heart of Mine, great song, Footsteps in the Dark, It's Your Thing. Boom. Like It's Your Thing sounds so different than Shout.
Totally. It's awesome.
But yeah,
it's cool that they had such a long and varied career.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Cool. Anything else you want to talk about with Shout and Isley Brothers?
Nope. Can move on.
We'll move on to my number 4, which is Creep by the Stone Temple Pilots.
Ooh.
I'm with a wounded hand, 'cause it likes to hear. Take time with a wounded hand. Guess I like to steal. Take time with a wounded hand, 'cause it likes to hear. I like to steal. I'm half the man I used to be. Well, I'm half the man.
Nice one. I see you did not choose the Radiohead one for your...
I didn't.
Which is fine.
Did you?
I like this. No, this is not on my list, actually.
Okay, right on. Yeah, we talked about, I think, the Radiohead. We talked about Radiohead before with Creep. Just when we were talking about, I think it was in the last episode.
We talked the Bends. It was
the Bends, right.
We talked about, the song, The Bends.
Yeah, but Creep is what broke Radiohead, which...
Great song.
Actually, why don't we just touch on that now because I read something I'd never known before about Creep before we get to the STP.
Okay.
But it was actually written... The Creep by the Radiohead version was written by Tom York in the late 80s before Pablo Honey came out. Pablo Honey was like 91, I think. And so something like 87, 88. And he wrote it. He was a young writer at that time. And he played it for their producers. And he said, "This is my Scott Walker song." And he never intended it to be recorded. But the producers pressured him. And then the producers and EMI pressured them to release it because they're like, "This is a hit single," and they were right.
Yeah, okay.
But it was but they always regretted it. They never liked it because they just thought it really pigeonholed them into a sound, and it felt like it didn't showcase their breadth as musicians, and of course it didn't. Like when you look at their catalog later on,
sure.
But not only that, they were sued by Albert Hammond and Mike Hazelwood because they wrote a song called "The Air That I Breathe," which is a great song that the Hollies covered.
Yeah.
All I need is the air that I breathe. That one.
Yeah.
And I listened to it today, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, I know they don't have a whole lot of. Radiohead definitely synthesized that from the ether. I think after hearing that song because it's very similar. The verse part, right?
Yeah, exactly. So with the major to the minor and that and all that stuff.
It's very similar.
Very similar. So they had a point, and they lost.
Hey, whatever. I mean,
ended up giving them songwriting credits. Yeah. So
it's only so many. There's only so many chord progressions, but this one's pretty like chord progression and melody are very similar.
Very similar. Yeah. So, and that's what a kid does. Like if you're a kid writing, you're emulating something that you like. I mean,
and a lot of times that stuff is subconscious too. It's not like you listened to that song and said, "Here's my words. I'm going to rip this off." You know,
of course,
it just happens. You know,
and
that happens in the folk tradition. It happens everywhere in music.
Yeah. And you have to give Tom York the benefit of the doubt anyway. Just like look afterwards, you know, you see all the stuff that they transcended
they transcended the creep pigeonhole anyways. So
yeah, absolutely. But let's talk about the creep by STP. Yeah. So this did not hit the Hot 100, but it did hit number 2 on the mainstream rock chart. I think this is a severely underrated STP song.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it wasn't a bigger hit because I mean I certainly remember the song. It was I remember hearing it a lot. But not a big hit, I guess. That's I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I just think like it works so. I was thinking about it today, and I like was trying to. It sort of hit me to imagine it as like a much more up tempo song, and it really works like that. To me, the song sounds like it was an up tempo song that they dialed down on it,
right?
And it just makes it like the song's name creep, but it makes it creepier. It makes it more mysterious and like very soupy and dirty. And I just think it works. I think it's one of their best songs.
It's a good tune.
So yeah, off of Plush. Which had, this had, or not Plush, off of Core, which had Plush, which had Sex Type Thing, Wicked Garden. So this is the album that broke them. And all those songs are great. The album's really good. And this song's underrated. So that's what I have to say about Creep.
Yeah. One more, there's a third Creep also. TLC had Creep.
Oh, of course there is. And that's a good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So there you go. That's the first triple that we've touched on, right?
Yeah. Heavier weight then.
Yeah.
Should we move on to your number 3?
Yeah, let's do it. My number 3 is Fire by Jimi Hendrix.
Next to your fire. Hey, let me stand next to your fire. Whoa, let me stand, baby. Let me stand.
Yeah, great one. So good.
A song is so awesome.
So good.
Yeah. 1967. This came out. Still holds up so much. It's so good.
I love the
rocks
bass.
So hard. The bass is so good. The drumming is so good. Obviously, the guitar is good.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this is just an awesome song. It's one of his more popular songs, I feel like, and he played it all the time in concert.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't know, the the origin of this song, it's a little cheesier than I thought. Let me stand next to your fire could be interpreted in a bunch of different ways.
It's good.
This is actually literal.
Oh, really?
He's
cold?
Yeah. they were at Noel Redding, the bass player's house, his mom's house or whatever. They were hanging out there while they were, whatever. And after a show, they were back at her house and it was cold. So he asked the mom if he could stand next to her fireplace to warm himself. And then it gets even worse.
Oh.
So she was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And the guy's dog was hanging out in front of the fireplace. So he goes, oh, move over, Rover, and let Jimmy take over. Kicks the dog out from in front of the fireplace. And a classic was born.
That's so cheesy. That is not what I thought. That's not what I thought.
No, it's like the lamest story about Jimi Hendrix I've
ever heard.
Super
lame. Yeah, he should have not let that one out.
But it's a really awesome song. No, I know, right?
It's an awesome song, yeah.
It's really good.
What other fires are there? Like I know,
Ohio Players. Fire.
That's right.
That was the number 1 hit. That's the number 1 hit. Ohio Players are great.
Yeah.
They rock and they get weird. They get into kind of like the P-Funk zone a lot of times. They're pretty awesome. But yeah, Fire was a number 1 Billboard Hot 100 and Hot Soul singles. 2 weeks top of the chart. It's their signature song along with Love Roller Coaster is their other big hit.
Right.
They got a really cool weird one though called Funky Worm. If you've never heard that, listen to that. It's pretty cool. Funky Worm is good. But But yeah, so they recorded this. The Ohio Players recorded their Fire, and they were performing it, and they let Stevie Wonder hear the tracks while they were recording it, and he was like, "This is going to be a hit." So
oh wow!
Stevie called it.
He was right.
Yeah, I mean, well, Stevie Wonder.
Golden years.
He knows a hit.
Yeah, that's right.
Another tidbit is Play That Funky Music by Wild Cherry.
That's right.
This song Fire was the inspiration for that song.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then there's a third Fire also. Pointer Sisters did Fire, which is actually a Bruce Springsteen song that he wrote kind of like in an Elvis vibe. You might have heard it. Everyone's covered this song.
I can't picture it.
Yeah. If you hear it, you'd be like, oh, that one. But yeah, so there's many a Fire song, which is not surprising.
Do you know any of the lyrics from that version? Can you think of any? If not, it's okay. I just thought maybe I'd be able to recognize a couple of lines or something.
Drawing a blank on the lyrics.
No worries. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, because that does sound familiar to me. That Springsteen to Pointer Sisters connection, but I'll have to look
he
it
wrote it basically as like in the Elvis vein, and I guess I don't know if like Elvis died before he got it to him, or I think he sent it to him.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
a little bit. That would be late stage Elvis, though. Who knows? Yeah.
What he was up to. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. A good pair. Shall we move on? What is it? My number 3, I guess?
Your number 3.
My number 3 is Drive by the Cars.
Who's gonna come around when you break? You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home tonight?
Oh, I love that. Like the ostinato and the bass there, where they boom, boom, hangs on the fifth, I think, over the 1 chord, then the 5 back to the 1. It's so good. It's like such a great choice right there.
Yeah, it's a good song. I missed this one totally.
Yeah, did you miss the pair then?
I did. I missed the whole thing.
Drive
wasn't even on my short list.
Drive is R.E.M., the first track on Automatic for the People, which is another great song. I really like that, and that album very much. Automatic for the People is so good. But maybe we can talk a little bit about both. But the Cars Drive is from Heartbreak City, which is a really good album. Hit number 3. This song hit number 3. It also has You Might Think and Magic on it. A bit of a bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had maybe like a kind of a low album sales in the one before. This is a little bit of a hit bounce back, but it's cool. It's actually it's also like interesting that Rick it's not Ocasek singing too. Like a lot of times you picture him as the singer of the Cars.
No, the bass guy Benjamin Orr, he sings a lot of the big hits. He sings Just What I Needed too. Right?
Is that him too?
I think it is.
I think you might be right. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah. Ocasek's just got such an iconic voice that I just, that's my association there with them. But but anyway, Ben does Orr does a great job too. And this is
absolutely. Yeah. He's a great singer.
Song. Timothy Hutton directed this video too. It's a cool video.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
This song was produced by Mutt Lange too, right?
Yep, that's right.
So there's famous people all over this.
All over this thing. Timothy Hutton, I think he was previewing some of the songs and he wanted to direct something, and they're like, yeah, why don't you give it a shot?
Right on.
So he did it, and so it's set in like a venue, and Orr is in the audience and there's like mannequins and things, but there's also a beautiful woman kind of sitting in the corner, and she that ends up being Ocasek's wife, third wife. So I can't remember her name.
Right,
but
the supermodel, right?
The supermodel, yeah. Super pretty. But that's the Cars version, and then the R.E.M. version is great. I love that album. It's got Everybody Hurts. Night Swimming's a phenomenal song. Man on the Moon.
Absolutely.
Try Not to Breathe's a great song. Yeah. And the strings for most of the songs on this album is John Paul Jones. He did all those. So the other thing is apparently the 3 musicians, so Mills, Buck, and Barry, they wrote 30 tracks for this album. And I guess Michael Stipe wasn't with them. They were just like hanging out and writing. I don't know what Stipe was doing, but then they sent him like the 30 demos and was like, pick 10 and write some lyrics and melodies to them, and he did it. It became the ones on the album. But it was interesting that they don't write it together. That's crazy.
Yeah. I wonder, do they not like each other?
I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's still pretty early. They just turned around 30, so they'd been
right.
I mean, maybe they were together 10 years at the time of Automatic for the People. I'm trying to think, like
92. So they started in 1980, so 12 years.
So yeah, maybe at that point,
decent amount of time. Maybe they just wanted some space or something.
Or their sound gets a lot different on this album than it was previously. You know, everything else was a lot more bouncy, like indie and bouncy, kind of. I don't know,
a little jangly, a little more whimsical, I guess. I don't know. Right. Yeah, this is a pretty serious album.
Yes,
or has a lot of serious kind of songs.
Yeah, so maybe they just, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what happened, but he wasn't with them and they wrote all the tracks, whatever. But they did a lot of the overdubs separate too. Buck was like, Buck did which one was it? No, Mike Mills is the other kind, the harmony guy, right? I think that's Mills.
The bass player, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so Mills, he said that like he was alone in the studio for some of this too. Like when he came up with some of the counter melodies to some of the songs, like he was having like magical moments by himself. Seems a very lonely way of going about.
Yeah, especially for like a band. Like I think of R.E.M. as a band, you know.
Exactly.
It's not like you know, like Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins playing all the parts or something like that, you know.
Right.
I feel like R.E.M. is very much a band.
Yeah, and you wouldn't think that it would work as well if they did it that way, because you know you just kind of lose some of the personal. I don't know. It feels
apparently
like you may lose some of the vibe.
Mean, this is
but apparently not. Right.
They figured out how to do it.
They did. They sold 18 million records with this.
Jesus.
They sold 18 million without a time. That record before too. I mean, you got to think like "Losing My Religion," of course, was huge.
Right. Yep.
But like 36 million albums in like a 2 or 3 years is crazy. Crazy. So anyway, that's my number 3.
That's
Drive,
a good one.
Cars and R.E.M.
I totally missed that one.
Oh, well, there you go.
Sure. Yeah.
Move on to your number 2.
Move on to my number 2. My number 2 is One by Harry Nilsson.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number 1.
Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, it's classic. I mean, the other version of that by Three Dog Night is probably more famous.
Yep.
I prefer this one. I'm a big Harry Nilsson fan anyways. This is from his 1968 album, Aerial Ballet.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool how he came up with this song. He was calling someone on the phone back when people did that. And the number was busy and it was going dirt, 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 dirt. And he just sat there listening to it. And that became the pulse of the song.
That's super cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's super cool.
So that's how he wrote the song. He was just kind of listening to the busy signal, humming it along.
I love the Three Dog
Night did it.
I love the Three Dog Night version. I love it so much. And I forgot that Nilsson wrote this. So I need to go back.
I like his version. It's more moody. It's a little like it's kind of cooler, a little darker. It's cool. It's good. It's got really good string arrangements and whatnot, and it's a really good version.
Yeah, I need to go back and listen to it and do the Pepsi challenge because I mean, I love Harry Nilsson.
I'm interested in hearing what you think because I definitely like Nilsson's version better than Three Dog Night. Although the Three Dog Night version's really good also.
Yeah, I love the high, that like was the falsetto.
Number 5 hit. Yep, totally.
It's super big. Yeah. Yeah, great song. Of course, the partner song gave me nightmares as a child.
One by Metallica.
Sorry, that version, right? Because there's a U2 version as well. But the Metallica version, I saw that video. I was too young to see that video, and it scarred me. Nightmares.
Yeah, it's horrifying. Yes,
horrifying.
That was actually Metallica's first video.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. About a World War I soldier who was severely wounded, arms, legs, and jaw blown off by a landmine, blind and unable to speak or move. You know, so. Yeah, it's scary. I mean, it's based on Johnny Got His Gun.
Yeah,
which was a movie and then previously a book.
Right, and the film. Yeah, so they're showing excerpts from the film too.
Yes,
and you're just hearing the internal monologue of this guy, like saying, like no one can hear me, no one can understand me. Right. It's like I think he even says like "kill me" or something. And it's like
he tries to spell out "kill me" in Morse code.
I can't.
With like his head or whatever.
And it forever scarred me against Metallica too. It's like, I know how like really great they are. That Black Album's really great. I know that's later stage, like Master of Puppets and stuff is, people dig that. I'm not like the deep cut Metallica guy, but it really scarred me against Metallica. I'm like, I can't do this again. Like,
it's pretty scary. It's a good song though. This was kind of like their iconic, right? And the video is iconic too. Black and white, them playing in a warehouse.
Yes.
And then it cuts away to the horrifying scenes of the guy from the movie. Yeah, it is scary.
Yeah.
It definitely freaked me out as a kid too. But I kind of liked it. I like Metallica up to a point. This was kind of like their breakthrough single, I guess you could think of it as well. It's number 35 on the Hot 100. The video was all over MTV.
It was, yes. It was nonstop.
The video, so the video was being played so much, Metallica kept having to pay royalties to the film. So they ended up buying the rights to the film instead. So that was cheaper. And then also, of course, there's the triple one by U2.
A beautiful song. I love that song.
It's a great song.
Same time as Automatic for the People. It was the same year. You have Achtung Baby, which is just another one which I love as a kid. I loved that album so much.
Yeah, it's good.
And One Off It is such a great song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about the Triumvirate?
Nope, that's what I've got for one.
Cool. Well, then we can go to my. So that was your number 2, right? So we're going to my number 2.
Correct.
Now this is where we get to Shout by Tears for Fears. Yeah, so I know that you love the song because it was on your list.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yep. Tears for Fears is great.
Great.
This is a number 1 hit.
Yeah, it was.
Big hit.
Big hit, big album. Yep.
Second single from their album, Songs from the Big Chair, 1985. Great song. People think this song is about the primal therapy or whatever, but apparently Roland Orzabal said it's a simple song about protest.
Yeah, exactly.
And he said people basically overcomplicate it. He wrote it. He's like, I wrote it in my room on a small synthesizer and a drum machine.
Yeah,
and then they went from there. But yeah, it's a good song.
He did most of the stuff on the song too. All the drum parts,
all the programming,
most of the programming, the synths. He shared their
Lin drum.
Yep. They share the vocal duties here, which is a cool thing. Because what is it? Roland's got the chorus, right? He's doing all the shout part. These are the things I can do. Where his partner in crime is doing the kind of the main voice.
Kurt Smith.
Kurt Smith is doing the main, like the verses, I think. Which is like such a cool flavor shift. I really like how they did that here.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're sharing. Yeah.
Tears for Fears has a lot of flavors.
Oh, they certainly do. Yeah.
Because they do the synth thing and then they can do the guitar thing too.
Yes.
Kurt Smith is good. He's kind of underrated.
He's really good.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. I like them both. I think they were a great duo and absolutely. Seems like they just had a riff and, did a few albums and had a riff. It sucks because the album after this is their second album. Their third album is really good too with Sowing the Seeds of Love on it. I mean,
Right.
They were just monsters, like great writers,
Absolutely.
great orchestrators. Like you listen to Tears for Fears now and it's like, this sounds so goddamn good. They were so goddamn good.
Yep.
It's in that they're sort of in the peer level as, Peter Gabriel didn't have the same length of career, but it's like when you listen to these recordings, they're like, oh, this is someone who like cares a lot and
absolutely.
And put a lot into it. And they did. It's they have amazing guitar tone. Great playing, awesome songwriting. I can't say enough about them. I mean, this album, it's tough for me to choose a favorite here. I love Head Over Heels is on this album too. I love Everybody Wants to Rule the World,
Yep.
Just amazing songwriting.
They have so many good songs.
So many good ones. So that is my number 2 for Shout Tears for Fears. Should we move on to your number 1 pair?
Sure. My number 1 is Jump by Van Halen.
Can't you see what I mean? Might as well jump.
So good.
Yep, that's pretty great. Of course, Van Halen off their album 1984.
Yeah.
This is a number one hit, of course. Iconic video, very memorable, lots of spandex.
Yeah. Some splits.
A lot of people, some splits, some high kicking.
Roth was so good.
A lot of people were upset because of the keyboard presence in this. I think it's awesome.
It's so good.
I like it myself.
They can shut up really about it. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
That's just Eddie being better than anybody else. Like his keyboard solo in the damn song is ridiculous.
It's so good.
And they did it. He did it on tour. When I saw them on tour in 2010, he did it. And I'm like, he didn't even slow this thing down. Like he didn't even slow it down to do it. I mean,
why bother? He just plays it. It's Eddie Van Halen.
Ripped it out. It's like, shut up, you bastard. He's so good.
Yeah, he is good.
I love the keyboard part.
This one's good. Yeah, me too. I like everything about this song. It's really good. It does have a good guitar solo too.
Oh yeah, he rips that apart. What's the other jump? Why am I blanking on that?
Oh, there's several, but the other one is Jump by Kross, another number one hit.
Of course, it's the Kross version.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mac Dad'll make you jump.
Mac.
That was 92. That was their first single, worldwide hit, topped the charts, Switzerland, Australia, US, third best-selling song of 1992.
Yep.
Crazy. They made kids wear their clothes backwards. It was a phenomenon.
It was a phenomenon. Cool thing. I feel like they were underrated. I know they were kids and that's whatever, but I feel like they were underrated and their music is actually really good. And the reason why is because you got Naughty by Nature, like all of that. You've got, who's the lead singer? It starts with T, Naughty by Nature.
Tretch.
Thank you. Tretch produced parts of that album and helped them write parts of that album. So of course it's good,
That's pretty good, right? I know they were discovered by Jermaine Dupri.
Oh yeah.
So they had a lot of folks behind them.
Yeah, they did.
12 and 13 years old they were.
That's crazy.
The two Krisses.
Crazy.
Yeah. So that's a good one. And then there's a third jump by Pointer Sisters.
Oh, of course. That's a good one too.
Jump for my love. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
jump
one.
In.
Yeah.
It is good.
Oh, that was.
I like the Pointer Sisters. They're awesome.
Yeah, because they had they had Neutron Dance right around then. And Jump.
Neutron Dance. That's the same album, Breakout.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I remember.
That album kicks ass, actually. Breakout is really good.
They're super good. I'm that's connected with Beverly Hills Cop or something for me. The Neutron Dance one. I think maybe it's Beverly Hills Cop 2 or something, but
is that what it's in? It's in something, right? I can't remember, but it's definitely Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay, the first one, yeah. That might be the truck scene where you got Axl hanging off the back of the truck flying around. Eddie Murphy actually did that scene. It's crazy when you look back at it. It's like they're driving down the road and the back of the truck is swinging and he's swinging with it.
Yeah. Hey, right.
It's crazy. Good job, Eddie. He was so good.
Yeah.
So good then.
He is. Yeah. I mean, he's still pretty good when he comes out and does stuff.
Yeah, of course.
That's good.
Interesting thing about, so Jump is the second song on 1984. The first one is 1984 and it's just a keyboard track.
Which is
also has a twin.
Also a twin song.
With David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Right.
I found that one. I didn't include that one for a couple. I mean, the instrumental title track. It's just kind of a fun coincidence. It's not really like that. That wasn't a big hit, but I like the Bowie 1984. That one.
It is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool choice. Anything else you want to talk about with the jumps?
With the jumps, no, that's what I got for jumps.
We'll move on to my number one then, which is Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar.
Nice.
Don't you mess around.
Good one. This was on my short list, of course.
Yeah.
This is a good tune.
It is a good tune. Most of their songs, I think, were written by her and her guitar player, which I think they were husband and wife.
I believe so. They were together,
yeah,
right?
I think so. But this song was not. This was written by Jeff Gill and Cliff Wade and it was performed by a British singer named Jenny Darren. I didn't hear her version. So anyway, this is written by someone else, but Heartbreaker, love the song. I love it when it goes halftime in the chorus. It's just so badass. Aren't many more like badass female rock singers than Pat Benatar. Like she's one of the most badass.
Yeah, she's pretty badass. Yeah. This song rocks too.
So
What's Neil Giraldo? That's the guy, right?
Neil Giraldo, the guitar.
Neil Giraldo. Yeah, Giraldo.
I think they're married or something.
Yeah, I think they were married, or maybe still are, or whatever. But yeah, they were certainly together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good song. It definitely rocks, and she sings up high, and it's got the cool riff middle breakdown part. Yeah. Which is pretty badass.
This could be a heart song too. It's like it's just in that same realm.
It's in that zone.
And
totally.
It would be like they both could pull this off. But this was the second single off of her album, The Heat of the Night. The first single, If You Think You Know How to Love Me, it didn't chart at all. So they released it, flopped it, released Heartbreaker, and then boom, hit 23, and that kind of put her on the map. And then she had a really good career. I looked at her discography and sort of realized she had like one really good song off every album. But there's a lot of good ones.
Well, that's how they do it, right?
That's how they do it. We Belong is an amazing song, one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Love Is a Battlefield. Shadows of the Night, another great song. Some of those two ballads like kill me. We Belong and Shadows of the Night's not a ballad, but great song. Pat Benatar, kind of underrated, I think, even though people know her. She's pretty famous. She is pretty famous, but my lights just went. Man, someone was like, "What do you mean underrated?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't shit on Pat Benatar, dude. Bad things will happen to you.
She's better than people give her credit for, but I think she's awesome.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I feel like she gets a lot of respect.
Whatever. I want to give her more respect.
Good. No problem with that. Do it.
And then, of course, the partner song is the Zeppelin version. Oh, not version. The Zeppelin Heartbreaker
song,
which is
awesome.
Yeah, off Zepp 2, great album. It's got a whole lot of love on it. Thank You, Ramble On, Moby Dick, just so good. Interesting off that is so Van Halen, Eddie, said the solo from Heartbreaker inspired him to adopt the tapping technique. He says, I think I got the idea off tapping watching Jimmy Page do his Heartbreaker solo back in 1971. He was doing this pull off to an open string, and I thought, wait a minute, open string pull off, I can do that, but what if I use my finger as the nut and move it around? And so
gotcha.
There you go. He started tapping, and history was
awesome.
made. Yeah. Steve Vai also commented about it. He said Heartbreaker had the biggest impact on me as a youth. It was defiant, bold, and edgier than hell. It really is the definitive rock guitar solo. So meant both to some of the two of the
fair enough
finest guitar, two of the best,
two titans,
whoever lived. Yeah. So that's what I got. Heartbreaker,
good one.
Heartbreaker. Yeah. So which ones kind of made it?
There was a bunch more.
Tell me some of yours.
Money, Pink Floyd and the Beatles.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That one's good. The Beatles one's a cover. That's by Barrett Strong originally, which was the first Motown single.
Is that Money? No, that's Can't Buy Me Love. So which one's? I can't think of the Money one. I can't think of Money.
That's what I want.
Oh yeah. Okay, thank you.
Your love it can't give a thrill.
There you go.
Yeah. So the Barrett Strong one is good, but it's Berry Gordy playing piano on it, I think too. So it's pretty early Motown, and Beatles version's great too. And then of course Money, Pink Floyd.
Yep, of course.
Photograph, that one has like 4 different ones. Many of them are not good, in my opinion. Ringo has a Photograph.
Don't know that one.
Def Leppard has a Photograph.
Love that one.
Photograph. Yeah, that's a good one. And then Nickelback has a Photograph.
That's the one that sucks.
That one's not great. And then Ed Sheeran also has a Photograph, which I also don't care for.
Not a good one. People love the Sheeran.
No, not for me.
I'm kind of a Sheeran hater.
Not for me.
Sheeran hater.
Yeah, I don't care.
No.
Let's see. Oh, I like this one. All I Want Is You.
Yep, of course.
It's a U2 song, and also Roxy Music, and then Carly Simon also has one, and Bryan Adams, I think, has All I Want Is You.
Yeah, that came up for me, and I listened to both the Carly Simon and the Bryan Adams, and I wasn't familiar, so I was like, I
didn't like either of those. Yeah. I like the Roxy Music one, and the U2 one is great.
Both of those are good. Very good, yes.
Did you have Call Me?
Yeah, because the Aretha is amazing. It's
Aretha one
beautiful.
is so good. And of course, Blondie one is awesome.
Right, yeah.
And there's Al Green.
Yep, that's right.
Which is also pretty good. But the Aretha one is
She's
awesome.
so good. I just love her. I love her so much.
Yeah.
There's also Learning to Fly, which is Tom Petty and Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. Yep, I had that one.
Yeah, both are good.
Did you get Do It Again? Do It Again?
I did. What was the second Do It Again?
Steely Dan and Beach Boys have Do It Again, and so do the Kinks.
That's right. I don't think I'm familiar with They did come up for me, but I wasn't familiar with the other two, and I just didn't have time to go search
I knew
them.
the Beach Boys song. It's okay, Beach Boys song.
Do you want to sing that one for us too? Okay,
no.
That's all right. Next time.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. No, it's okay song. What there's even more Dreams. Yep. That's a super any super common word.
That Beck Dreams.
Cranberries.
That Beck one's good.
I like Beck.
Yeah, that's later on. I wasn't familiar with it, but I listened to it today. I'm like, wow, that's like 2017 or something. And I'm like, that's really strong, Beck.
Yeah,
really strong.
Yep.
I sort of like stopped paying attention. I don't know why. Like he still puts out.
He's always got some good stuff. He puts out music all the time, and he's usually got at least something that's good. I like Beck.
Yeah, me too.
I don't keep up with his stuff obsessively, but when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, there was End of the Line, which is Traveling Wilburys' great song, and also an Allman Brothers song, which is pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hush, that's Tool and Deep Purple.
Oh, yeah.
Both good songs. Yeah. I love that Deep Purple song so much. It's a good one.
Yeah, same.
There was A 1,000 Years, which is a Sting song, and also a Toto song. I wasn't familiar with the Toto song for some reason. I feel like I know their discography, but yeah, there was that. Another double with Toto was Africa, because Hall & Oates put out Africa too with Oates singing. He's singing lead.
Interesting. Oh, right on. Good for him.
Yeah. So,
what else I had? Oh, The End, The Doors and the Beatles.
Oh, that's right. Of course. Yeah, of course.
And Pearl Jam, I guess, has a song called The End. I didn't listen to it, but I saw it on a list.
Is that their last song on Vitology or something? It's something, or Versus.
You would know better than me. I'm not
Pretty sure it's the last, obviously The End. I think it's on the last song on one of those albums. There was also Yesterday, which is Beatles and Guns N' Roses.
Yep. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, good one. I didn't have that one.
Yeah, big one.
I had We're Not Gonna Take It. Twisted Sister is the famous one, and then The Who also has a We're Not Gonna Take It.
Yeah, and I feel like a dumbass for my high school self, because I was trying to convince someone that the We're Not Gonna Take It Twisted Sister was actually originally written by The Who and Roger Daltrey sang it. And they're kind of like, if you listen to them, you could see where I'm coming from, because it would be easy to kind of conflate them a little bit. But no, I was a dumbass, and I should have realized that they were different. I don't know.
They definitely have the same title.
Yes, they have the same title. But there's like something familiar about both of them for some reason. Maybe I think the Who version I think is off Tommy too. And so
I think that's right.
And then they were doing because they were doing the Who on Broadway at the time too. They were doing Tommy on Broadway at the time, and so I don't know. It made this weird triangle, this love triangle of We're Not Gonna Take It. So I put Roger Daltrey in Twisted Sister.
You conflated it in somehow. Fair enough. That's right. Things like that happen.
There was Polly, which is a Kinks and Nirvana tune.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have that on my list, but I know those songs. Feel Like Making Love, Roberta Flack and Bad Company.
Oh yeah, of course. I feel like making love. Is that the Roberta Flack version? It's kind of like a little bit more chill, I think.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, there's a
ton of them.
There's Save Me, Bonnie Tyler, which is a great. That's a turn around every now and then. That's Save Me. I think.
Yeah, okay.
And Aretha Franklin has a song called Save Me too. Of course, I mean you're right. It's like Save Me seems like an album title or a song title. So
yeah, totally.
Tons of them. Tons. Yeah, I don't know that I picked any, but you did all one title, so.
I did.
You had one title and you didn't and you didn't choose change. That's crazy that there's so many one titles.
There are.
And Creep.
There's a bunch. And Money.
And Drive.
Dreams. Oh, I didn't say. Did I say Dreams?
No. Dreams. Right. Fleetwood Mac and right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout.
Heaven is another one. Talking Heads, Rolling Stones, Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
Eurythmics, Depeche Mode.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. A lot of Heavens.
I think is that Heaven's. Heaven is a Place for Us. Is that? Ooh, baby, or is that
No, that's Heaven is a Place on Earth by Belinda Carlisle.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Oh, wait, the Bryan Adams is, I can almost, it's almost coming to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I'm trying to remember how it goes. I have just the thread of it. I can't remember it. Something, you're in heaven.
Yeah. Okay, when I have you here in my arms. Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that
one.
one.
Right. We found it. We got there.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, ton of them, which is good. It makes it easier to like research and rank. Some of the other ones that we've done recently
Absolutely.
were harder. Cool. Anything else we missed with this?
I'm sure there is, but I think it seems pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, I think so. All right, cool. Well, then I guess we'll leave it here then. And so for Briggs, I'm Matt. We'll see you on the next one. Ta-ta for now. Bye.